So the man that can never sit down is back. The Canadian from all the way from Vancouver is back with his next album from the DTP. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about it. So let's dive in. Transcendence by the Devin Townsend Project. So the Devin Townsend Project is basically led by Devin Townsend. It is his brainchild. He has been making music right from like the mid-90s and has just been a plethora of very strange and very interesting and so symphonic metal music. He kind of has, I always say, two brains at work. There's that chaotic, all over the place, way over the top, bombastic, brutal metal at times where it's just a wall of noise. But he also has a very, very subtle and a very simple soul as well. So these two brains or these two minds have a lot of fun when it comes to being on one album. And so we come to Transcendence, which in his mind was kind of the accumulation of all the musicians that he's been touring with for quite a while. I mean, the DTP now has been kind of in the works for almost 10 years. So it's kind of that they're getting used to one another, they're getting familiar, and they're playing along. And honestly, this is probably my favorite work and the most mature work that we've heard from Devin since probably the Deconstruction and Ghost period. I found like with his other projects of Epic Loud and Z2, it didn't quite hit me as hard. I felt like it was, although a strange experiment, but a very accessible experiment. This is where he's going more back to the early days. This sounds very much like something you would hear from either a Terra or a Syncresta kind of a sound. So the sound is still kind of reminiscent of that style that we heard from Z2 or from Epic Cloud, but I feel like they've taken a step in the right direction. It opens up right from Truth, and actually this is a callback from one of his earlier albums of Infinity. When I heard this, at first I thought, oh, this is a strange kind of a callback, but this isn't the first time he's done this. He's also done this with Hyperdrive and a couple of his other songs. And I really like the heaviness that this Epic Loud kind of essence has been brought to it. It definitely breathes new life into it. And it comes into Stormbringer, one of my favorite tracks on this whole album. I love Devin's solo on this album. This is one of the reasons why I keep coming back to Heavy Devy. His just unique craft of the guitar is so masterful and yet so simple. But it's probably Failure that's one of the crowning jewels on this album, the third song. Kind of reminds me of Planet of the Apes from his Deconstruction album, where it's just that really guttural guitar, that brutal and gnarly, just dun, 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 that sets the stage, and then from that, the rest of the song builds on top of that. And so I love that concept of failure, and so he's kind of, talking about failure and when things don't quite go your way, and so you've got that gut response of that, no, it's supposed to go this way, why isn't it going this way? And so that forceful guitar is blended perfectly with the overall theme of that song, of that kind of forceful willfulness of going the right way, but it just doesn't. So I love that going on within the song. And then the next song of Secret Science is kind of a staple Devin Townsend song that we've been hearing. It sounds very like something we would hear from Blue Sky or something that we would hear from Epic Cloud. So there isn't too much that's being added here within Secret Science, although there's something new here as well. And so maybe that's just like the blending of the new guitars or just that overall essence of the song. But again, I didn't really feel like too much new ground was covered as well. I think it was just Devin having fun within familiar territory. Higher, on the other hand, the longest song on this album, reaching almost at the 10-minute mark, but not quite, is a real treat, and I love where this song goes. It goes all over the map, and yet it doesn't feel like it's ever wandering. It feels like it's on a very strict path, but you're led through all these really great landscapes. And I love, again, The guitars on this is just why we keep coming back to the Devin Townsend project. And I love how well utilized this instrument is. And this is probably the brutalest that we've heard Devin for quite a while, again probably since Deconstruction. And again, where this song goes is just beautiful. Near the ending we have that little bit of a breakdown where it's just that chugging of the guitar leading us through, and then once we get into that reprisal after all of that it was been said and done, it's just beautiful, and I applaud every time I listen to it. And then we come into Stars, which is kind of like Secret Science, where I feel like it would fit very well in any of the past albums that we've heard from Devin. But I do like the next song, the title track of Transcendence. It's got this, I don't know, euphoric or epiphany kind of sound to this. And I guess that's the overall theme of this album, that transcendence, right? You're being transcended from the music. The 8th track of Offer Your Light has kind of been that staple fun track. We found this with Silent Militia from Sky Blue and Liberation from Epic Cloud. This is kind of that short, sweet, fun, boppy track, that energetic track, and I love these tracks. I love a quick, simple, very energetic. It knows what it wants to be. It's not over the top, and when it is over the top, it's always tongue-in-cheek, kind of over the top. Little last bit of fun before we come into the last 2 tracks. It's From the Heart and Transdermal Celebration. From the Heart, in my honest opinion, does what Sky Blue and Epic Cloud attempted to do, probably more so Sky Blue, with that very optimistic and very positive light within a metal tinge of music. And I feel like this one song of From the Heart just accomplished that so much better within the 8 minutes. It's very concise and it knows what it wants to be. And so we go through that roller coaster of the very highs and the very lows, and it's what the Devin Townsend project has been working towards all this time. This is a very logical next stop for the band. And coming into the Transdermal Celebration, it's that right within the track, it's that celebration of music, it's the celebration of life, it's the celebration of all. I love how this song builds, with just starting off with the guitar and slowly but surely the rest of the band comes in, and so it really just closes the album so well. I know I've already spoke how much I love that big brutality of Devin, but I also love how he's able to take a step back and just be very genuine and very personal. I mean, that's what I love about this guy. I've said this before and I'll say it again. He's unapologetically himself in everything that he does. And we see that again here. So we've got those two sides, and here, luckily, we have the light side winning out. And so I believe that's why we close on such a beautiful and somber song. So that's about it. Overall, I love how just unified all these songs are. It's not jumping all over the place. It feels more unified, and that's what I really like about it. Overall, I have to say, download this guy. You've got to have it on your computer. You'll want to revisit it time and time again. Every time you listen to it, there's going to be something new for you to really discover and dive into. I've been having a blast listening to this album, and this is probably going to be one of those albums I listen to throughout the fall. And so that's about it. What did you guys think of Transcendence from the Devin Townsend project? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting below. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's always been a treat to review these guys for you. And until next time, notes out.